Thanks so much for joining us here on ABC24 Plus. I am Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett. It is lunchtime on a very hot Tuesday. I wish I could say we had a cool down coming today, but it looks like today is actually going to be the hottest day we have seen so far. Heat index values are already through the roof. It's just going to get worse into this afternoon. That is the bad news. We've got a couple of pretty icky days coming up with some pretty nasty heat, but the good news is there is some relief on the way. We just have to wait a little bit longer. For right now, many of us are sunny as we take a look live over downtown Memphis. A couple of friendly clouds out there, but most of us dry and hot at the lunchtime hour on this Tuesday. Memphis checking in at 94 degrees already. It's 12:03 p.m., so we have a lot more heat to go. Heat index is already 107, and that's because of the extreme humidity. We use the dew point to tell you how humid it is, and it is extremely high today. Anything over 75 we just call miserable, because it really is. I walked outside this morning, and it's just like a wall of humidity that smacks you right in the face. It's almost tough to breathe, even when you're just walking outside. So that's why today, probably don't need to be doing any exercises during the day. Definitely don't need to be doing any practices or any strenuous yard work. It's a day to really just take care of yourself and stay inside if at all possible. If you have to be outside, make sure you are staying hydrated and taking breaks inside, because not only the heat, but the extreme humidity could definitely pose a risk through the day today. Across the Mid-South, temperatures look like this at lunchtime. 94 in Memphis, but it's already 98 in Tunica, 97 in Truman and Clarksdale, 95 in Dyersburg, 93 in Corinth. Heat index values, man, 109 already in Tunica, 107 in Memphis, 116 in Forest City. Fun fact for you, if you live around cornfields, corn actually holds a lot of moisture. So areas immediately around cornfields tend to be more humid. So those areas where there's a lot of corn that's grown, it actually makes the heat index higher, believe it or not. So that's why in some of those Delta counties, we see the heat index get so much higher. It is already very hot across all of the Mid-South, though. 113 in Corinth right now and in Dyersburg. Just a reminder for why we tell you the heat index, it all goes back to, believe it or not, how your body sweats. That is your body's natural way to cool you down, is sweating. But how it actually works is it's not just the sweating, it's the evaporation of the sweat. So the sweat evaporates out of your body and it actually cools you down. It's the same process behind when you get out of the shower, you feel really cold. It's because all that water is evaporating off of you. It's not the sweat itself that makes you colder. It's the evaporation of the sweat. The issue is when it's this humid, the sweat doesn't evaporate. It just kind of hangs out there. You need dry air for the evaporation process to happen. So when the humidity is this high, the sweat can't evaporate and your body's natural cooling process fails. And that makes you feel hotter. It makes your body's temperature rise. And that is what can make this heat so dangerous. Most of us are totally dry today. All of us are dry right now. We have had a couple of very isolated showers in eastern Arkansas, one little sprinkle down near Batesville, Mississippi right now. But for most of us, this is what the radar is going to look like. It is going to be a very dry and a very hot day. I will zoom in down near Batesville. Again, a couple of sprinkles down there just to the west of town, maybe a raindrop or two in Batesville right now. But it is not going to be enough to cool you down. Again, most areas just going to be dry and very hot today. There will be a couple of clouds through the afternoon, but even then, I think a good chunk of us are just going to stay sunny and hot. This will likely be the hottest day we've had so far this year. We've made it to 96 so far this year. I think we are on the way to 98 degrees this afternoon. Extreme heat warning in effect for Memphis and all of the Mid-South. And again, that is because of the dangerous combination of heat and humidity that is going to pose a risk to your safety as we go through this afternoon. Again, high temperatures around 98 degrees in Memphis. Could be a little closer to 100 in some neighborhoods. I think many of us are sunny this afternoon. A couple of friendly clouds here or there. And again, rain chance is pretty slim. There might be a sprinkle or two. most areas will not see much of that. Humidity off the charts today. It is just very humid, so that's going to push the heat index very high. Again, it already feels like about 105, 110. I think it could feel as high as 115 this afternoon. So this by far will likely be the hottest and most humid day we have had so far. And that's why we have that weather impact alert. Just giving you the extra heads up that today is a serious day that you need to pay attention to. Even if you think you grew up in the South, you think you're used to the heat, your body just doesn't get used to this level of heat, and it can definitely be dangerous. So the heat index up to near 115 by this afternoon. And then if you're thinking about going for a walk this evening, still feels like 104 at 8 o'clock. So it is still going to be very hot and very humid into the afternoon hours. So that is why we have that weather impact alert for that extreme heat that continues. Highs in the mid to upper 90s, heat index around 110, probably higher than that. That's all the bad news. The good news is a cold front is coming. It's just a couple of days away. For right now, we are stuck under this area of high pressure. We call it a heat dome. A high pressure is almost like a bubble. It just traps all that heat right at the surface. It keeps us mostly dry. You see, it's not just us, though. Most of the country dealing with extreme heat today due to that area of high pressure, almost like a lid containing all that heat right on top of us. So that's keeping us very hot this afternoon. 98 degrees today, sunshine, couple of clouds, heat index over 110. Not much relief tomorrow for Wednesday. Another weather impact alert, 97, heat index over 110. Thursday is cold front day, though. That is when we have a chance of some thunderstorms as that front starts to slide in. The temperature doesn't drop all that much Thursday. It will be a couple of degrees lower. Thursday brings in some chances for rain and then cooler weather after that, at least not as hot weather, and maybe not say cooler weather. Tomorrow, another extreme heat warning for Memphis and all of the Mid-South. Not much of a break for Wednesday. Heat index still around 110 across all of the Mid-South. So a weather impact alert today and Wednesday for the extreme heat. Really want to take care of yourself. Again, there should be no practices, no exercising, nothing outside, at least not in the heat of the day. If you have to work outside, I know there are people that do. Please stay hydrated. Listen to your body. Listen to those signs and symptoms. And please take a break if you need to. Just a reminder, heat exhaustion happens very frequently this time of year. You might get thirsty, might get a little dizzy. You might start pouring sweat. That is when you know you have overdone it a little bit. You might even get a little nauseous. If you have symptoms of heat exhaustion, head inside, drink water, and let your body's temperature come down. A heat stroke is a lot more serious. That is when your body's temperature actually starts to climb. Your body's temperature can get as high as 104 degrees, and that's when you start to have neurological symptoms. You might get confused. You might be lethargic. You don't really know what's going on. That's why heat stroke is a little more dangerous, because your body starts to shut down and you can't realize you're having a heat stroke. Other people around you have to know the signs and symptoms, and you have to be someone that is also keeping an eye out for those symptoms. If you know you work outside, know the signs and symptoms of heat stroke and notice it in other people. Again, confusion, feeling lethargic, they might pass out, they don't know where they are, they get combative, argumentative. And usually people that are having a heat stroke are not sweating all that much. They usually have very dry skin. So if someone is having a heat stroke, that is a medical emergency. Their body is shutting down and you have to call 911. That is an urgent medical condition. So please keep an eye out for anyone that could be having a heat stroke. Also, check in on friends and neighbors, especially those family members that might not have the best working AC. Maybe they're elderly, they can't get around that well. One knock on their door or one phone call in this heat can save a life. If their AC has gone out and they're not mobile, they can't move around, it can be deadly. So please call your friends, call your family, make sure they're doing okay, and knock on a neighbor's door. Make sure they are staying cool as well. There are several cooling centers that have opened. Of course, libraries, civic centers, those are always open. The Hospitality Hub has one here in Memphis, and then I know there's also one in West Memphis as well. We have all those details on where you can find a place to stay cool. That is over on our website at ABC24.com. Now the good news. Tomorrow, we are going to start to track this cold front. And really, cold front is probably too slick of a term. It's really not going to make it much colder, right? It's not going to be jacket weather by any means. You're not going to need to pull out the sweater, but it is going to be a not as hot front. That's what we're going to call it. It is going to knock our temperature down a lot, and it is going to lower the humidity a lot. It is going to be a noticeable difference, especially by Friday and the weekend. Look at your high temperature for Saturday. I never thought I'd be excited about 88, but 88 with low humidity Saturday will feel fantastic. And that cold front is going to finally bring some relief to a good chunk of the eastern United States by the weekend. Like we mentioned, it's very humid right now, very muggy. That cold front is going to help that out too. That front passes through. It's going to switch our wind direction to be out of the north. That's going to push a lot of that humidity further south. So the humidity will also come down this weekend. Those things combined will really help us out. 115 the heat index today, 108 Wednesday, still pretty hot Thursday as that front is starting to work its way through. But by the weekend, much better. Again, it will still be hot. You will not need your jacket this weekend, but it will feel a lot more comfortable. The heat index around 90. So that is a lot more tolerable than what we have been dealing with. As this front passes through, there is a potential for a couple of showers or thunderstorms on Thursday. I don't expect widespread rain, but there is an increased rain chance Thursday as that front starts to pass on by. So Thursday, I think, is the best chance to see rain over the next 7 days. It is a 40% chance. So just be aware on Thursday, there could be a couple of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two. But then I think by Friday and the weekend, we are dry and a fantastic weekend ahead. 88 Saturday, 89 Sunday. We will be mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Dry weather expected this weekend. But of course, it's the humidity that will really help. That lower humidity this weekend will make a huge difference. I know it's still going to be hot. It will not be nearly as humid, and it will be a lot more comfortable. So if you've been putting off the yard work, putting off the exercise for the weekend, I think this is finally a time you can do it. The heat is going to calm down quite a bit for this weekend. For tomorrow, though, today and tomorrow, the extreme heat does continue. 97 for Wednesday, heat index over 110, another weather impact alert. Thursday is the day that cold front actually starts to work its way through. The temperature is still going to be pretty hot Thursday, 94, a heat index around 105. There will be an increase in shower and storm chances on Thursday. Now, I don't think it rains all day Thursday, but there will be some extra showers around. After that, we dry out. Friday and the weekend into next week look pretty dry. The temperature comes on down, 87 Friday, 88 Saturday, 89 on Sunday. Much lower humidity for Friday and the weekend. So it is going to feel much nicer by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Notice your low temperatures. They also come down a bit. 72 Friday night, 71 Saturday night. So we actually do get a little bit of relief in the overnight hours. You might actually be able to open your window and let some more comfortable air in. It's been so warm and muggy, even in the overnight hours. Finally, our AC might get a little bit of a break this weekend. We might be able to cut it up a few degrees overnight by Friday night and Saturday night with those temperatures finally cooling down a little bit in the overnight hours. Now, it is still summertime. Statistically, August 2nd is about the middle of our heat for the year. So it goes up through August 2nd. Then we start to come down. So this is about the midpoint of summer statistically for Memphis. So the odds are there will be another heat wave. It will be hot again. It will be humid again. And it looks like we're going to start that trend back up next week. 90 on Monday, 92 on Tuesday. We look dry to start off the week, but temperatures will start to tick back up. Again, it's still summertime, so it is probably going to get hot again as we look ahead to the middle and end of next week. But Friday and the weekend just look fantastic. So next couple of days, please take care of yourself. It is going to be extremely hot, extremely humid. It is going to be a risk to your health and safety. So please make sure you are staying hydrated. Check in on your folks. Make sure they have a cool place to go. Again, we have some cooling centers over on our website at ABC24.com. Of course, we always keep you updated right here on ABC24 Plus. We stream on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. We also stream on your phone. Wherever you watch, just search ABC24. We'll be there with the latest updates and information. For now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett. Have a good day, and please stay cool and drink that water.